Thanks for playing with Game Goblins. I'm going to show you how to play Heat in 5.5 minutes. Basically, players will be managing their hands in order to play a certain number of cards based on what gear their car is in to race around the track while watching out for corners. Your starting deck will consist of 12 speed cards, 3 stress cards, and 3 upgrade cards. Those will be shuffled and placed here. Then 6 heat cards will be placed in your engine here. Then draw a hand of 7 cards, and keep an eye on how far you are from the nearest corner. This is going to help you make certain decisions. The first thing that players will do simultaneously is change gears. You can gear up 1 or down 1 for free. If you want to change gears up 2 or down 2, you'll have to pay 1 heat. Paying heat means taking a heat card from your engine and putting it in your discard pile. This might seem a little strange and inconsequential, but eventually your heat cards will reach your draw pile, which means you'll eventually draw heat cards into your hand and spend resources cooling them down. For now, we'll say the red player has chosen to gear up twice. Then, based on what gear they're in, all players will select which cards to play simultaneously. We're far from the corner right now, so red is going to choose 2, 4, and 3. They'll place them face down somewhere near their board. The blue player will make the same consideration at the same time and choose to gear up if they want to. Let's play it a little safer and gear up once. That does not cost a heat, and that means we're going to play exactly 2 cards. After players have selected which cards to play, they'll reveal them at the same time. You can see that red's total speed value is 9, and blue's total speed value is 7. That means the red car will move 9 spaces, and the blue car will move 7. The next thing the game tells you to do is for the player who moved last, not necessarily the person who is in last, to add 1 additional speed value to their turn. That player also has access to 1 additional cooldown. Cooling down is the act of taking a heat card from your hand and putting it back in your engine so that you can use it later. The 5th step is for players to cool down their engine or do an adrenaline boost if they would like to. They can do that by paying 1 heat from their engine to their discard and then flipping over additional cards until they reveal a speed card and add that card to the value for their turn. Then, if a player ended their movement directly behind or directly next to another car, they can activate Slipstream, which allows them to move their car 2 additional spaces forward. This does not add to the speed value for the turn. Step 8 has you discarding any cards that you don't want to use in the future. Red and blue are both coming up on a corner, so they're going to keep these low cards in their hand. You cannot discard stress cards. Stress cards are basically like rolling the dice. If you play a stress card as one of the cards on your turn, you'll reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a speed card and add that value to the speed value for your turn. After everyone's revealed cards and moved their cars and resolved any additional steps, discard revealed cards and any cards you don't want to use and draw back up to 7. On the next turn, players will go back to step 1, choose to change gears if they want to, and then play the number of cards equal to what gear they're in. Red is going to play 3 cards, and since blue is in 2nd gear, they'll play 2. Then players reveal which cards they chose, and move their cars that amount of spaces. The player who's furthest ahead will move first. That's blue with 7. Then the red player will move, for a total of 8. Then on to step 4. The player who moved last can add 1 additional speed value and has access to 1 additional cooldown this turn. Red is going to choose to add 1 speed value for a total of 9 this turn. Neither player has any heat to cool down from their hand, and neither player is going to boost this turn. Red has ended their turn in the space directly behind blue. That player is going to slipstream past if they want to. Now step 7 this time is consequential. Both players passed a corner line. The game asks you to check the value of that corner line against your total speed value this turn. Blue rounded a corner with a total speed value of 7, which means the corner is not consequential to them. Red, however, rounded the corner with a total value of 8, plus the additional 1 they chose to do so that they could end up in a slipstream position. That means the total value of Red's turn is 9. The difference between 9 and 7 has to be paid with heat from the engine to avoid spinning out. If that player could not pay that heat, that player would then lose all of their gears and gear down to 1, take 2 additional stress cards to their hand that turn, and go all the way back to the space before the corner line. But red could and did pay the heat difference, so we'll put things back to how they were. Then clear the cards from that round and get ready for another. When you run out of cards to draw, take your discard pile, shuffle it together, and form a new draw pile. Draw back up to 7, keep things fast, watch out for those corners, and now you know how to play Heat. Have fun!